Kenya believes in providing equal opportunities for all. I urge all Kenyans to join me in ensuring the implementation of the 2/3 gender principle that is in our Constitution. It is the minimum acceptable level of representation. It is a measure for now, not tomorrow.
Thursday, August 13th, 2015 goes down as the day the government demonstrated its commitment towards facilitating a framework for the realization of the 2/3 gender principle in political representation as provided for in the Constitution. The launch of the Tubadili Tusitawi Pamoja campaign, a Swahili phrase urging partnership between men and women to bring about sustainable development, was a culmination of enduring efforts by the National Gender and Equality Commission, having provided strategic leadership in the design and development of a framework to ensure fair gender representation in Parliament and Senate. Prior to launch of the campaign, the event had been preceded by a one-year-long and arduous task of brainstorming and lobbying various stakeholders to come up with an agreeable framework for the realization of the not more than 2/3 framework in form of the Constitution of Kenya, Amendment Number 4 Bill of 2015. The bill is informed by the ruling of the Supreme Court of Kenya on 11th December 2012, when the court delivered a decision that the realization of the not more than 2/3 gender principle under Article 81 Part B is progressive. In its ruling, the Supreme Court stated that Parliament was under an obligation to enact a law by 27th of August 2015 to give effect to the 2/3 gender principle.
We have seen delaying tactics, and all we are saying is we are watching out. We are watching out for Parliament that they must legislate and amend the law as appropriate. The realization of the 2/3 gender principle must be immediate. And therefore, all we need to do is to ask the Honorable Minister for Justice to put back this bill for discussion. And we are hoping they'll do the right thing.
But the women of Kenya are not going to relent on this issue. We're going to continue moving forward. We're going to explore each and every avenue open to us to be able to take this agenda forward.
It means women are not respected in this country. He has given us scenario on East Africa region. He has given us scenario of international. Affirmative action is what we fought for.
Following the Supreme Court ruling, the Attorney General constituted a technical working group, TWG, on 3rd February 2014 that included NGEC, that is Convener and Secretariat, Ministry of Devolution and Planning, Attorney General's Office, Office of the Registrar of Political Parties, Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission, Commission on Administrative Justice, Commission on the Implementation of the Constitution, Parliament, that is to consist committees on the implementation of the Constitution and legal affairs respectively, Kenya Women's Parliamentary Association, and the FIDA, Kenya representing civil societies. Between February 2014 and July 2015, the TWG has sought and received various proposals from the public and experts on potential viable formulas. The group meticulously analyzed and processed all proposals and considered the merits and demerits.
Women are encouraged to vie and be elected in, but it then provides a fallback position just in case we are not able to get enough numbers to get representation at a third.
Ultimately, the group settled on one proposal which they forwarded to the Attorney General, which was published in July 2015. The Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill Number 4 of 2015 proposed a similar mechanism as the one in the county assemblies in complying with the not more than 2/3 gender principle, that of replicating the provisions of Article 177 Part B and C to Articles 97 and 98 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010. This proposal utilizes the self-regulating mechanism set out in Article 177 Part 1 of the Constitution. It is a topping-up mechanism where members are elected proportionately on a party list from qualifying political parties to meet the 2/3 gender threshold.
This bill seeks to use the framework that already worked for us in the county assemblies, that is more simple, very direct, that is a fallback position just in case we don't get the numbers we require for the women. to make the third. The proposal to lift what is in Article 177 and write it in 97 and 98 is that this is a gender-neutral section, that even if the titles were able to change and the women are more and the men are less, the same provisions would be used.
This proposal will guarantee the following. Number one, precise realization of Article 81 Part B on the two-third gender role in political representation after the 2017 elections. Number two, increased number of members of marginalized groups, including persons with disability and youth. 3. Enacting the law envisaged in Article 177 Part 1C and 100 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 that calls on Parliament to enact such laws promoting representation of the marginalized groups who include women, persons with disability, youth, ethnic and other minorities and marginalized communities. The National Gender and Equality Commission, however, recognizes the complexity of complying with the two-thirds gender principle, especially in political representation. This is because Kenya is a patriarchal society and women have traditionally been marginalized in political representation. The campaign Tubadili Tusitawi Pamoja seeks to sensitize citizens, politicians, faith and community leaders as well as private sector about the economic and social value of equity and inclusion. The campaign pitches valuable discussions about the framework and trends conversations among families and citizens about the subject. And who else to drive the point home other than His Excellency the President of the Republic of Kenya, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta?
Ladies and gentlemen, one of the basic aims of the African Union's Agenda 2063 is achieving a people-driven development by placing gender equality at the core of our development agenda. Gone, therefore, are the days when these issues could be taken lightly or glossed over. Gone are the days when empowering women was viewed as a favor, an attempt to make us look good.
It is hoped that the campaign will contribute to breaking the cycle of discriminatory practices and stereotypes that dissuade voters from electing women and special interest groups.
Here in Kenya, as has been stated already, we made a decision to break away from the old habit of exclusion, and we have embraced equality for women with the promulgation of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, which therefore means that we have committed ourselves wholly to equality. It is my obligation to protect the Constitution of Kenya, and that means therefore defending among others its provisions on gender equality.
With this understanding, it is expected that voters will prevail on MPs to pass the Constitution Bill of Kenya, Amendment Number 4 of 2015.
Tubadili, tusitawi pamoja. Ni muhimu kubadili wake na wao.